For over 3 millennia, the galaxy had known peace. The Concord of Spheres, signed by all major civilizations, had brought an end to war, slavery, and conquest. Species who once devoured planets now cultivated them. Even the violent Varaxian warbroods had learned restraint. And then, on the outer rim, on the human colony of Tenerife, someone laid hands on a child. A human child. They didn't just touch her. They took her. Her name was Lyra Morgan, age 7. She vanished during a routine terraforming expedition. It was assumed at first to be an accident. Perhaps she wandered, perhaps a storm swept her away. But the search drones found footprints, not hers, and a patch of skin shedding that belonged to an Alkari raider. The moment the transmission reached Sol Prime, the Earth assembly fell silent. And then they stood. President Ren Ellison gave no grand speech. Admiral Kalen of the Earth Fleet gave no warning. Instead, a single message was sent out to the Nalkari Confederation. You have taken from us. Return the child, or we will take everything. The Nalkari laughed. Humans, after all, had not fought a war in over 3,000 years. Their fleets were small. Their soldiers were ceremonial. Their weapons were outdated. The humans were diplomats, artists, thinkers. The rest of the galaxy forgot what they once were. But they remembered. Deep in vaults beneath Europa, in cryochambers buried under the Martian crust, in fortified bunkers orbiting Proxima Centauri, they waited, the old guard. Veterans from Earth's last war, silent and frozen. Locked away because even peace could not erase the nightmares they carried. When Lyra's scream was transmitted, when her terrified face appeared, bruised and crying in an Alkari holding cell, those veterans were thawed. And Earth changed. Factories that once made peace drones were retooled to produce kinetic rail cannons. Terraformers became warships overnight. Civilian AIs were reprogrammed into tactical combat units. On Tenerife, every colonist took up arms, not just to defend but to avenge. The galaxy watched in disbelief as Earth activated Protocol Red Sky, a failsafe designed for one purpose only: total planetary retaliation. Within 3 days, 12 Nalkari outposts were turned to glass. No negotiations, no terms, no mercy. The Galactic Council convened an emergency session. They pleaded for Earth to stand down. The Nalkari, now panicked, returned the child unharmed, barely touched. But it was too late, because Lyra had cried, and humanity had heard. The High Matriarch of the Nalkari begged for mercy on public broadcast. She wept. She showed her own children and offered herself in place of the raiders. Admiral Kalen's face appeared on the screen, calm as frost. This isn't about vengeance, he said. It's about memory. We remember what we are. And now you will too. What followed was not war. It was a demonstration. Human drop squads descended on the Nalkari homeworld in perfect synchronization. They didn't fire. They didn't bomb cities. They walked, unarmed, into the capital and stood silently in the streets. The Nalkari trembled. The humans looked them in the eye, and then simply turned around and left. 2 days later, every known slaver ring in the galaxy was gone. Every black market trafficking network was dismantled. The humans did it quietly with surgical precision. They released no statements. There were no debates in the council. Only fire, then silence. Species who had mocked Earth now sent emissaries bearing gifts. Empires that had ruled through fear now quoted Earth's laws. Even the mighty Kroval warlords, who had not bent the knee to anyone, burned their war flags and signed the child accord drafted by humans. The message was clear. You can argue with our politics. You can mock our peace. But you do not touch our young. Because humanity, it turned out, had not grown soft in peace. They had grown patient. They had grown focused. And worst of all, they had grown prepared. As for Lyra Morgan, she returned to Tenerife to a hero's welcome. But she never quite understood the weight of her rescue, until she grew older and